Value-added versus non-value-added activities. Hello everyone, and welcome to this lesson on value-added and non-value-added activities. This is one of the most important distinctions in process improvement management. If you want to improve a process, you must first understand which activities create value and which activities consume resources without creating value. A value-added activity is an activity that directly contributes to what the customer wants. It changes the product or service in a way the customer cares about and is willing to pay for. A non-value-added activity is an activity that uses time, labor, money, space, information, or energy, but does not increase customer value. Let us make this practical. If you order a sandwich, slicing fresh bread, adding the ingredients, preparing the sandwich correctly, and packaging it for you are value-added activities. Those steps contribute directly to what you want. But if the employee walks across the room 3 times to find missing supplies, that is non-value added. If your order is entered incorrectly and must be corrected, that is non-value added. If you wait because the process is poorly organized, that is non-value added. The customer does not want to pay for confusion, rework, searching, waiting, or unnecessary movement. The customer wants the correct sandwich, prepared safely, delivered on time, at the expected quality. This distinction applies to every industry. In healthcare, diagnosing the patient and providing the correct treatment are value added. Asking the patient to repeat the same information 4 times is non-value added. In education, teaching, feedback, advising, and learning support are value added. Confusing instructions, duplicate forms, and unnecessary delays are non-value added. In manufacturing, transforming raw materials into a product that meets specification is value added. Moving parts unnecessarily, storing excess inventory, and correcting defects are non-value added. In banking, accurately processing a loan application is value added. Waiting for unnecessary approvals or correcting avoidable data entry errors is non-value added. However, we must be careful. Some activities may not seem valuable to the customer, but are still necessary. These are sometimes called necessary non-value added activities. For example, regulatory compliance, safety checks, tax documentation, and required audits may not directly create customer excitement, but they are necessary for legal, ethical, or safety reasons. The goal is not to eliminate every activity that the customer does not see. The goal is to identify which activities are truly necessary and which are wasteful. A useful question is, would the customer willingly pay for this activity if they understood it? If the answer is yes, it may be value added. If the answer is no, ask whether the activity is required for safety, law, ethics, or operational control. If it is not required and does not add value, it is a candidate for elimination, simplification, automation, or redesign. Let us use a simple example. Student registration. A student wants to register for a course. Value-added activities include selecting the correct course, confirming eligibility, completing registration, and receiving confirmation. Non-value-added activities may include entering the same information multiple times, waiting for manual approval when automatic approval would work, searching for unclear course requirements, or contacting multiple departments because responsibilities are unclear. A process improvement manager would map the registration process and ask, which steps help the student successfully register? Which steps protect accuracy, compliance, or academic integrity? Which steps create delay without adding value? Which steps can be simplified? Which steps can be removed? Which steps can be automated? The power of this approach is that it shifts improvement from opinion to analysis. Instead of saying, "This process feels slow," we can say, "This process contains 6 steps, but only 3 directly create value. 2 are necessary controls, and 1 is pure waste." That is process thinking. The major lesson is this. Every process should be examined from the perspective of value. Organizations often become attached to activities because they are familiar. But familiarity does not equal value. A step may exist because of old technology, outdated policy, poor communication, past mistakes, or simple habit. Good managers ask whether the activity still serves the customer and the organization. So, as you study any process, remember these 3 questions. What does the customer value? Which activities directly create that value? Which activities consume resources without creating that value? When you can answer those questions, you are ready to improve the process. That brings us to the end of today's lesson. If this video helped you understand process improvement more clearly, please take a moment to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who is learning operations management, business management, or process improvement. In the next lesson, we will continue building practical tools for improving quality, reducing waste, and strengthening organizational performance. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.